YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we got another video here by Trash Taste, the anime podcast, or is it an anime podcast? But yeah, we got Trash Taste. Let's see what these guys are talking about. Their video is saying, has anime peaked in 2025? For me, I would say no. You know, I still feel like the best is yet to come. There's so much, like, how can I put this? We only have one Attack on Titan, guys, where we have an official season which is perfect. You know, yes, you know, the one thing which it's not that perfect because of the 3D. I feel like the one thing which also kills anime is two things: it's mismanagement and time. These people don't have time to be making a lot of shows, and number one, even though they can have the money, they have the time, they mismanage. So I feel like those are the only two things that are killing the industry. But let's see what this video has. Let's jump in.
Fair enough. Should we see the next thing? Is it going to be movies or TV shows?
Let's see.
Bring it there. Oh, anime.
Oh, it's anime.
Okay. Why is Doraemon 2005?
It is not 2005. That show was made in the 70s.
Okay. Let's write down our answers.
Oh, God.
2005 versus 2025. Like, let's check out everything. You know, there's One Piece. There's I forgot what this show is called. I'm seeing Champagne. Oh no, Samurai Champloo, Mushishi. I don't know what shows are these, but comparing that to what we have Gajai Kuta, Dandadan, The Flower Blooms to You, My Dress Up Darling, Demon Slayer. Yeah, no, of course you can't compare the two. Those are two different years. You know, these. You know, one thing is, I feel like the shows of back then are what you might call them their foundation. You know, they helped us get to this level. It's not necessarily like you can't compare the two seasons, because each and every single anime season is different. You know, these are like foundational shows which inspire people to watch, to kind of have an idea of what they would want. And yeah, no, you can't compare the two. It's honestly, because now, yeah, anime is really good. Comparing it to like Gajai Kuta, Dandadan, you know, My Dress Up Darling, Solo Leveling, Demon Slayer, like already those are banger. You know, compared to back in the day where it's like these are very like. Not many people were speaking, like if you ask somebody right now, have you watched Mushishi? You know, like nobody has watched that. Samurai Champloo was also very niche. You know, like these are all very uniquely niche, whereas now the modern day ones are kind of like bangers. You know, like Solo Leveling, guys, like this dude, it's crazy. But yeah, you know, I mean, you can't compare. You can't compare it, honestly.
God, I hope we do different answers, at least for this one.
This is hard, actually.
So anime that came out in 2005 versus anime of today.
Today.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Oh my
God,
god.
then we're all put the same. 2025.
I'm curious to hear why you put 2025, Joey.
I just think it's fucking. I think like
Nuke Tashi.
Well, yeah, that too.
That we wouldn't have got that. We wouldn't have got peak.
We wouldn't have got that in 2005.
We wouldn't
Are
have
you
got
kidding
that.
me?
They would be too scared to put that much
No,
thirst
I think
on the timeline.
I think anime has gotten better because like not only has just the audience base for anime gotten larger, but the demand has gotten larger because of that, and therefore there is more pressure on most studios now to just make higher quality products.
Simple. That's the end of the conversation right there. So like what Joey said word for word, boom, that's the end of the conversation right there.
You know, and I think like regardless of your current taste in like, you know, old versus new or nostalgia or anything like that, because I'm trying to take away my nostalgia, because clearly I'm way more fond of the left side of the screen than I am the right side. But that's not to say that like you know, I'm throwing away the entirety of the right side either. I've fucking watched most of these on the right side. So it's like, and they're great. And they're and you know, the 2005 stuff, yes.
I like how One Piece is both in 2005.
Yeah, 2025. Yeah. It's also in the 90s as well, if you think about it. But like,
exactly.
But you know, I think like just now that because there is a higher demand and more animes being made, yes, there is more slop, but there is also more good
shows
stuff too.
Yeah.
And the fact that
there's a lot of slop, but yeah, I mean, comparing the stuff from now and then, I mean, like,
there is more of a choice now, and the fact that the niches now of each shows is more catered to more specific niches rather than broader topics compared to say 2005 or earlier.
Yeah.
I think just A, makes it easier for you to actually get into the medium to begin with, but B, you just get higher quality stuff, and there's nothing wrong with higher quality stuff. I mean, look, like if they fucking animated Dan Da Dan back in 2005,
dude,
I don't think it would have been good as if they made it today.
Yeah, no, because Dan Da Dan is low key like a celebration of like what happened in the past. Not what am I saying? It's like a celebration of anime. Like it takes all the quirky, weird stuff and puts it into one, and that's what makes it beautiful. That's what I feel like makes Dan Da Dan really nice, you know. Whereas today, like, bro, like, it's very, very difficult for you to, like, I mean, I'm thinking back in the day, it was very difficult for them to kind of, like, introduce new anime. Because thinking back in the past, like, my biggest shows, of course, was what? Naruto. Naruto was Dragon Ball Z and Naruto. It was so difficult, especially back in the day, 2005. Who the hell did you have internet back in 2005? I didn't have that shit, bro. Literally, we didn't have Wi-Fi, internet cafes. Whereas now the access is more. It's more broader. The industry is more stronger now. Cause I'm just thinking about back in 2005, bro. Who had internet 2005? Like legit, it was so hard for me to watch Naruto or Dragon Ball Z. I was so jealous of one of my friends. He got like a full tape of Dragon Ball Z, so he could watch it fully, whereas I didn't have that option, you know?
Most of these, Gachiakta couldn't be made 2005.
True.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
so-
I think the biggest thing, I think this would actually be a harder question if it wasn't 2005 versus 2025.
It was 2000s versus
Because
2020s.
I feel like 2000s anime, even if it was just 2010s anime versus 2020 anime, that would be a lot harder of a conversation. Because I think in the 2000s, the anime industry was kind of adopting digital animation. And I think a lot of the 2000s anime is characterized by, you know, them figuring out how to make digital animation look good. And so for every banger you got, there were a lot of shows you watch again, you're like,
didn't look great.
damn, this
Brother,
Yeah.
what's that?
Yeah, it's kind of the same.
Yeah, as I said, foundational anime, bro. Like, oh, dude, it's tough to watch some of the shows back in the day.
For TV, right? Like
Yeah.
I've been rewatching Peep Show again for like
Yeah.
the fucking 90th time. And it was made when they started filming digitally, but like
Yeah.
720p was the max.
Yeah.
And it looks like shit today. It
Yeah.
does not look good. But then you watch something from 1950s or 60s, and because they recorded it on film, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think same thing with anime, where it's
Yeah.
like it
Like-
unfortunately 2000s early was when they kind of was at that.
Like,
headache.
let's talk about 2000s anime CGI. Like,
Oh my god.
Well,
Like-
what little there was of
well,
it.
you remember Studio Gonzo, Joey? Remember Studio Gonzo CG?
How could I forget?
Yes.
Oh my god. Imagine
you know-
comparing CGI from back in the day to now. Holy smokes.
It's funny to mention this, but you know, one of the big reasons why anime has improved is just technology.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one benefit of technology.
Yeah, technology has given animators more tools.
And of course, economic growth, bro. Literally, we all have mobile phones. Back then, you needed to have a computer. 2005, Jesus, I barely even had, like, bro, what was a, like, dude, it's two different times, bro. You can't compare 2005 anime to now. Because it's access, it's technology, all of the things are better, bro.
I mean, there's a lot of tedious tasks in
Yeah.
animation that, you know, a lot of technology helps with.
Yeah. And I think in general, you know, there are great stories in 2005 and there were trendsetters in 2005, but there are also trendsetters in 2025 as
Absolutely.
well. I think it's hard to argue whether the quality of shows in one decade versus another was better or worse because they're
different.
They both had fucking bangers. There are some.
It depends what you
absolutely-
define quality
think this
as.
is also this one is also tough because 2025 is obviously more in line with current tastes and what we're
Yes.
probably into.
Yeah.
Whereas 2005, I mean, I was like 9, and only a handful of anime I look back really, really fondly on. And
What do you mean?
like, obviously, even if I don't think Dan to Dan is my favorite show, there's a lot that I vibe with in the show. It's
Yeah.
very current. It feels very up to date, and I think that's fun.
Yeah.
And that makes it very easy to consume
very
and
true.
enjoy.
Yeah.
Whereas, some of these older ones, other than like Samurai Champloo, I might have a harder time fucking with it. Like Mushishi.
Yeah.
Mushishi.
Like it's a little slower. It's a little like product of its time.
For sure.
And it doesn't mean it's not amazing. It just means that like, at the time when it came out, it was a different
The
audience.
tastes are different.
The tastes have changed.
Yes,
and I think
absolutely
that's
true.
also why I picked 2025. But I'm a victim of my time. And I'm sure that when I'm, 2045, I probably won't fuck with the anime coming out because I'm going to be old as shit.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
probably fuck with the stuff that's more in line with my age group now.
Yeah. Also, I think a lot of people forget that, like, and clearly they have like rose tinted glasses on when they look back at like 2000s anime. And I'm
Well, a
also a
lot of
victim
dog
of this
shit.
as well. Yeah. A lot of the great shows out there that people remember fondly, like, just don't really look that good. And
True.
in terms of like the actual quality of animation as well, like, bro, you ever go back to like, I know this is like before 2005, you ever go back to like the first season of Pokemon that we all grew up watching?
Holy
Dog,
shit.
it's a fucking PowerPoint.
yeah.
I like it.
It's like genuinely like bad in some episodes. Whereas you
Yeah.
look at like modern Pokemon anime, it's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, these guys are actually
Night
moving.
and day.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
But I do think there was a raunchiness to some stories, but I did get toned down by the 2005.
Well,
The
there was
raunchiness-
raunchiness because they were coming off of the 90s OVA era,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
there was just
Yeah.
no holds barred. But this
Yeah.
was around the time where anime
Sort of
was
clean
getting
up a little
really
bit, yeah.
commercialized.
Yeah, I would say that
It's a
2025.
really awkward time for anime.
Yeah.
It
True.
is.
It
And
is.
I would say that 2025, unlike, let's say, like the 90s and 80s, which had their own vibes,
Yeah.
2005 or just mid 2000s anime in general is kind of like everything that was started in this era, I think has gotten refined into the modern era. Whereas,
agree.
That's very, very true. As I said, it's like a stepping stone. Because people would look at it and be like, oh, I could get inspiration to make my own show. Or, like people could look back and be like, oh, so this is how they wrote stories and all of that in anime. Let's use this format and kind of grow. And also what, what's his name? C-Dog V-Dog was saying that, also like it's grown. Like it's now comes with the times. Like Dan to Dan. It's like it has grown so much compared to back in the day.
whereas, there are some eras before where, you had like the fucking OVA era where it was going back to those era. It just felt totally fucking different in a lot of
Yeah.
senses, especially with,
Very distinct.
Yeah, you look at 90s fantasy, and it's such a different vibe to like everything post 2000 fantasy. Because
Definitely.
then you started the whole isekai trend, and instead of getting transported to a world and people trying to get back to the original world, it's more about the escapism of going to another world and staying in that other world and being a fucking Giga Chad or whatever.
Horror farming.
Yeah. I would say this would be a much tougher question if it was any other era than the mid 2000s era, because I do think that this was an era. There are fucking bangers in this era. Holy shit. This is the era that got me into anime.
Yeah.
But it was an era, looking back on it, where anime started to re-find its footing and has grown into...
It'll be a hard argument with the late, like 2010s to 2012. Like that was the good era. I feel like that's an era where a lot of people would argue. But I feel like for me, like a perfect time period probably was 2014 to 2019. That was the literal like birth of anime going into mainstream, besides it being commercialized, like commercialization of like proper one was probably from like 2000 and maybe 7 to 2012, and then from the peak was 2014 to 2019, or even more 2020 and like all of that.
where anime is
Yeah,
today.
it was trying to rediscover itself after the experimental phase of the 90s, I
Yeah.
feel. And I think up until this time, it, again, as Gon said, it hadn't quite gotten its foot in the door yet.
Yeah, because if it was like 2010 versus 2025, I'd probably go 2010.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would
I
definitely
think-
say so. Yeah,
As I said, 2010s is a lot stronger than the 2005 wasn't not that strong. No lie.
2010 was definitely around the time where I was like, okay, now we actually understand what anime is and where it's going to go.
I think that's when I think of like anime as the modern sense of it.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
Like the Code Geass, Death Note. That's when I feel like well, even though Death is like 2009.
Yeah.
But like that's when it became like anime, like the modern anime fandom that we all know.
Yeah,
I would say Death Note was actually 2007, actually.
Oh my god.
Exactly.
But I would say that a lot of the bangers that we talk about in the 2000s come more towards like the end of the 2000s.
07 to like 010.
Yeah, 07 to like 010, and that's like where it's proper.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Early 2000s anime, there's a lot of fucking awkward shows. That is very, as much as I have a soft spot for them because I grew up with them, is very awkward to recommend today.
I tried watching. That's a good one. I tried watching what's that show called? Akira, the movie, because I never watched Akira. So I tried watching it with my mother. Fuck. Never try and watch something like a show like from before 2007 with somebody that has never watched anime, and oh my god, it was terrible. Literally, because I was trying to show my mom like, yo, this is the shit I actually love, and I literally put on Akira. Ugh, dude, it's good in a nostalgia sense. Like, it has so many, like, a lot of people, Kanye West, a lot of people keep on like recommending it, but holy shit, that show was rough to watch. It was so rough, guys. Yo,
because it's like, it's just like the show didn't really know what it was doing, or just it was definitely just a product of its time. Because like, I feel like just media, not just anime, but like just media in general, and music is definitely the same thing, which I'm sure we'll get to eventually. The 2000s, most people didn't really know what the fuck they wanted to do.
Yeah.
They were still trying to come off of the 90s, identity of like, this is what it is currently. And then when the century rolled over, people were like, yeah, but is it though? I don't know. Maybe we should, fuck around and figure out what we're trying to do. And this was
true.
I mean, I love the fact as well, by the way, that half of these shows on the left aren't from 2005 at all.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that
like 4 of those are from the 90s. So.
yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
anyway.
I mean, look, we
we
know.
get the point.
Yeah.
All right, should we move on?
Yep. What's next? Movies and TV.
Okay, movies and TV. This is where I gotta end. But yeah, you guys kind of get where like I'm coming from, like with the whole like 2010s. I feel like that was like the kind of like the time period where a lot of us got into anime. The Naruto came out. I think Naruto came out 2005. I'm lying. 2005, 2006. But like that was the time where for me, I never had a phone, never had a laptop, never had any sort of internet. I'm from South Africa, by the way. So in my country, we had a network where it showed, it was SABC2, South African Broadcast Television, SABC, a South African broadcast channel. So it's like the main channel for every South African home you can connect. So they started introducing anime on the cartoon shows. Around 5 p.m. they would show Dragon Ball Z, and that was my first ever anime. Well, Pokemon was, but I barely remember Pokemon. But my first ones I remember because they first started with Pokemon, then they immediately went to Dragon Ball Z. Oh man, Dragon Ball Z was just amazing. And as well, I said my friend, he kind of got the CD for Dragon Ball Z on his birthday, so we watched Dragon Ball literally from the first episode till the last on his birthday. It was freaking amazing, bro. Like literally we weren't doing shit but just like sitting and watching Dragon Ball Z. Like that was awesome, bro. And then the rest is history. Then I watched Naruto, and then I think the time cause I only watched Naruto, Bleach, Dragon Ball Z, and that's it. I only watched 3 shows growing up till 2020. And then I kind of watched the Dragon Ball Z movie. The Dragon Ball Z movie was the one which I was like, yo, I need to get back into anime. I was like, yo, I need to, like, I think I watched it 3 times. And then I think after the 3rd time, oh, no. I was still just trying. I was tempted. And then I think I had a crush on a girl which lived on my street. She was watching Death Note. And then I think after I watched Death Note, I watched Hunter x Hunter. I think after watching Hunter x Hunter, I was like, yeah, I need to watch anime. Then Attack on Titan, and then the rest is history. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.